got to this point now in making our game, and this is great, got a nice menu, but what we actually want to be able to do is add an acknowledgement when we click on the exit. So it prompts us to say, do you want to exit, do you want to quit, yes or no. So to be able to do that, what we want to do is actually add a separate canvas. So to be able to do that, we don't want it to be in our current UI. We actually need a separate canvas to this. So we go into main camera, and what we want to do is actually to create a UI and a separate canvas, and we're going to rename this quit menu, like so. And then in our quit menu, we're going to actually add in an image that sits below it. So if I click back to my scene here, we can see that, and we want to just expand this out using our like this. Just expand this out so it sits over the top of our text like so. So if I click back to the game, you can see that's covered up completely, and that's kind of in a white. So you're just going to change this colour of our image, which you can do, and change it to kind of a grey, and we're going to change the alpha value as well of this to be not so prominent. Let's change that to be a slightly lighter colour. So we go to our grey, it's kind of greyed out. As you know what we want to do, let's change our mind a little bit of that. We want that to be fully alpha. So it actually completely greys it out. Yeah, that's how we want it to be. So what we'll need to do then is also add in some text. So I'm going to drop in a text below that. I'm going to rename that, and I'm going to call that quit. What this is going to be is just some text to say actually what we wanted to see, to prompt our user, to our gamer. So, do you want to quit? Stick a question mark at the end of that. That's all good. I want to make that a little bit bigger, so maybe make that 16. And you probably can't quite see that there, so if I drop into the game, you see that there. And that's sitting kind of a little bit low, so we're just going to move that up to here, like that. That's our game view. Yeah, do you want to quit? Which is good. It's nice, we like that. And we need a couple of others, so I'm going to duplicate that and scrap that. Again, let's move this down, and move it a little bit across, like so. Let's get rid of this text. We want yes there. Rename this to yes, like that. Let's rename that while I'm here to know, just so I know what's going on. And I can drag this one down as well. Line it up, move it across. Let's get rid of that text. That, click back on that, swing that across. Now if these are quite large, what we can do just, I mean, it makes not a great deal of difference, but we could just pull them down a little bit, just in the size of them. Scale it back, like that. And then again, we can see we've got that. We just need to actually sort that out a little bit. That's position wise. In a good spot. So we just want to place that there. Okay, so do you want to quit? What we might want to do actually with our quit is just emphasize this a little bit, so we can make that bold by clicking there. So we have font style, we have a number of different character parameters we have here. We can change the size, etc. And we got bold, italic, and bold. So we just made that bold. So it sticks out a little bit more, which is great. So we want it. So with our yes and no, as we did with our other items, our text, we want to make these into buttons. So what I'm going to do is, for our yes, we're going to add a component, come down to our UI, and I'm going to go for a button. And going to do is just change one of the settings here as a highlighted colour, and I'm going to change that to a red. And for the no as well, I'm going to do the same thing. Add a component, UI, drag it down, button, and highlighted colour. We're going to make that nice red. So, play this. Wait for it to catch up a little bit. Again, see these slightly change then as we roll over to the red, kind of red tone. But we're seeing this, both of them at the same time, which is not really what we want to do to come out of this. So we can solve that problem. If we click on our Quit menu, we can see we have a sort order here to our canvas. And that's our UI, we also have a sort menu. But what we want to have is our Quit menu at the front. So we can have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 with our sort menu. So what I want to do is change that to our sort menu so our Quit menu is at the front. So if then play this again. See that our sort menu for this one is at the front. Now you might think, okay, so while we can actually see any of this and actually view it, we're going to be able to use a script to switch between our Quit menu and our UI. So that's what we're going to do next. So I've already got my script, and you should have got your script from this week's lab, and you want menu script. And I'm just going to quickly go through this. I'm not going to go into mono develop. Your lab tutor can go through with you this, but essentially what it does is it creates a number of public values. So we have a Quit menu, which is a canvas. We have a start button, a settings button, which we won't do much with, that's for you to do. We have an exit button as well, which is part of that, which we'll be using. And in our initialization, we grab a Quit menu, start button, settings button, and exit button there. And then we enable that. We actually disable seeing the Quit menu. So we get rid of that from the beginning. If we press the exit, basically that enables the Quit menu, and it disables the start button, settings button, and exit button, so we can't do anything with those. If no is pressed, then it switches back to this kind of original state, so we reset those. We then, if we press start level, or we use the start level method, we use this application.load level, and that goes to our main. And then if we press exit game, or use the exit game method, it quits. And that we can't actually use within this emulation, but if you compile this and run it, that can be used. So that's our script. So we go back to our UI. Basically what we want to do is add this. So our menu script, we grab and drop onto our UI, like so. I click back on this, and you'll see we've got a number of items that have got nothing in that we need to add stuff to. So the first one, we've got a Quit menu. Let's go back up to here. Quit menu, we need to add this to our Quit menu, like so. We have a start button, so you can grab and drop our start button in there. We have a settings button, which we can drag and drop our settings button in there, which is right, and our exit button, which we drag and drop our exit button, like so. So if we run this now, we should see that actually what comes up is it disables that screen, which is exactly what we want. But still nothing's happening when we click on these. Nothing's happening. So we need to do something else with our script to do that. If we click on our start button, move down, you will have nothing in here. Actually, I've already kind of moved this along a little bit, but you have nothing in here. But we can use this on click to actually progress this. So when we click on it, on our button, it has this method, and we can actually drop in into our runtime a way of accessing part methods within that script. So what we want to do is actually, let's go back to our start, come down, let's grab our UI and drop that into our runtime. This allows us then in our function to go to our menu script and actually get all of the functions that are associated or any of the actual public variables as well. So what we want to do with this is go to start level. So here now I can actually start the level. That should run start level. So if we go to, still in game, run this. This comes up, I click on there, it's starting our level, starting our main, which is exactly what we want, which is great. So we now want to set those for the other parts of our game. So for our exit, I'll do the same thing, come down, drag our UI in, go to the function, menu script, and we want exit press, because it's going to actually then bring up our menu. So we press this, run it again, press our exit, and it's bringing up our screen, which is exactly what we want. Come out of this. So then the same thing, we press on our yes button, and what we do, and you see here I haven't got that actually already there, so I need to add this. I go to UI, I drop this in, I go to the function, so we're saying yes now, menu script, and if we're saying yes, then we want to exit the game. So that's placed in there. And we go to the no, again, add, pull the UI down, like so, go to function, menu script, and no pressed. So now if I run this, I press exit, it should prompt, I say click on no, it brings it back. I press exit, I press yes, and nothing will happen because we're not in the right process for this. Now you might get an error with this, you probably will get an error. What you need to do, to build settings, you need to add your scenes to the build setting, and here you will have nothing. You'll have nothing in here. So what you need to do is add the current, which will be your splash, and also click on your main scene and add those, which is adding to the build. This is essentially saying these are the scenes that I'm going to run, and this is how they're going to run. And we can add these as an order. So also you can move them around, so you can add the order in which they run. And what we want is to have the splash scene come up first and then the main scene. So you want them to be in 0, 1, as I've got it here, like this. If I disable these, I'll show you what error we get. So I run it. I try to click on start, and I get the error down here saying cannot be loaded because we don't have a particular asset or a setting, so we need to add those to the build settings. So you need to make sure that happens. And that's currently where we're at.